Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 416. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is the simple secret to entrepreneur success. The simple secret to entrepreneur success. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. So the secret to entrepreneur success, guys, is very simple, but the path to that success can be hard if you don't know how to find it and also manifest it. So that's what we're going to discuss on today's show. Now, before we get to today's content, let me just share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses, and also 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community, Be Smart, Buy Black, and HireBlackFreelancers.com. And I'm going to give you an update on them very briefly. Also, I want to mention my BEB Academy. This is an online learning portal where you can get 3 days access to online courses, resources, and downloads to help elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Go to bebacademy.com and get 3 days free access. Now, let me give you a quick update on BeSmartBuyBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. So these platforms are platforms that allow Black entrepreneurs that sell products and services to connect and sell their products and services with Black consumers and businesses worldwide. So I am in the process now of changing the platform that I use for both of these sites. So if you go to HireBlackFreelancers.com or BeSmartBuyBlack.com, you'll see a page where I basically explain to you what's going on. And on July 13th is the new rebranded launch. So if you're interested in becoming a part of one of those pages or both of those pages, you can go to BeSmartBuyBlack.com or HireBlackFreelancers.com, put in your email information, and as soon as they come back online live, you'll be notified of that. There are going to be several changes to that platform. Okay, so it's going to be a new platform. It's going to be very intuitive. The graphics and the aesthetics are going to look a lot better, and we're going to be able to start marketing the platform more, because I really didn't market it because they were free platforms. But I'm going to be able to start marketing the platforms more on the podcast and also outside using social media, which should generate more revenues and more sales for you. Okay, so BeSmartBuyBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com will be coming back shortly. Once again, if you want to be a part of the new platforms, just go to one of those sites and it'll take you to a landing page and put your email in there also. Also, guys, today's show, it's Independence Day when this is going to drop, July 4th. So we're going to talk about how to get your independence in today's episode. And I'm going to give you the simple secret to entrepreneur success. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. Also, this episode is going to be super short because I know a lot of people are traveling. They may be doing other things. And for the holidays, most times people are doing other things. So I'm keeping this very short because I'm about to do something myself too. All right. So let's dive into the content real quick. Now, everybody talks about entrepreneurship and living that life that they truly desire to live. doing something that they enjoy, making the money and having that lifestyle. It's really about the lifestyle. So money just gives you options, right? And options are a good thing. So you want to create your business around your lifestyle, not your lifestyle around your business. And I see people make that mistake all the time. All they're focusing on is getting that bag, getting paper. And I get it. That is the reason that we go into entrepreneurship. But if we're going to spend the time and the investment in terms of sweat equity, in terms of dollars, in terms of everything you put in to be a successful entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you're building a business that you love. You're going to work every day, you're going in your business every day, and you enjoy what you're doing. Now, I know there's no entrepreneur out here who enjoys everything they have about their business. Now, there's just going to be certain things that you may not like doing, but you have to do it as an entrepreneur. What we want to do, though, is we want to take away as many of those things that you don't like to do so you'll be able to be a successful entrepreneur. And so I always talk about my course, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. And your genius is the intersection between your passion and your talent. The problem is most people, 99% of the people, do not know how to monetize it. And so the course says pinpoint, meaning identify, and monetize your genius. And that's what we're really going to talk about today. But we're using some other words. And this is actually how I came up with the program and the online course, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. I started thinking about, if you do these three things, if you can intersect these three things, do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for, you're never going to work another day in your life. And so let's break that down real quick. Do what you love. Why is this important? Number one, it allows you to make money doing something that you enjoy. I did an episode probably several months ago about chasing paper versus chasing purpose. Chasing paper versus chasing purpose. And trust me, I've done both. All right. And I probably chase more paper than I have than chasing purpose. But now that's what I'm on. I'm chasing purpose now. But when I was chasing paper, I was unfocused. I was looking at the next way to make money. And one of the episodes I have coming up is going to talk about focus and how focus is one of the most important things you need as an entrepreneur to be successful. But once again, when you do something that you love, it allows you to do something that you enjoy. And also when there are tough times out there, because in entrepreneurship, there always are. When there are tough times, if you're doing something that you love, you'll have more of a success ratio because you can break through the tough times because you love what you're doing. You love what you're doing. I was talking to a friend of mine whose grandfather, lives in Charleston, South Carolina. And he was showing me this basket that his grandfather wove. It was from is Gullah Geechee, and I forgot the type of the grass, but they were baskets that were hand woven from grass, right? And I'm looking at the craftsmanship and the artistry in these baskets, and I'm like, damn. I said, where did your grandfather learn how to do it? And he said he's the fourth generation that learned how to do it because his mother taught him, her mother taught her mother, and so on and so forth. And the basket that he showed me, he said they sell that for about $250. And he was just talking about, how he enjoyed and he loved what he did, making those baskets. And he said it'll take him about 4 to 5 days to make one basket. Then he'll go out to the mart. If you've ever been to Charleston, they have the Slave Mart. It's a place where they used to actually sell slaves, but now it's an open air mart. And he's actually out there, he said, selling baskets, making a ton of money, and enjoying what he's doing. And so that just brought to mind, do what you love. Do what you love. It allows you to make money doing something that you enjoy. Yes, there's a business aspect to everything. So there are things in business you're going to have to do, like accounting, have your books in order and all that. You may not be a fan of that, but you need to do that to be successful. So do what you love, number one. And like I said, the reason it's important is, once again, you enjoy it. And also when the tough times come, not if, but when they come, if you're doing something that you truly enjoy, then you'll push through, you'll break through. If you're doing something just for the paper, when times get too tough, what are you going to do? You got it. You're going to quit and try to find another opportunity to make paper as opposed to doing something that you love. And I'm doing this today, guys, off the top, no notes or anything like that. So bear with me. Do what you're good at. OK, why is that important? So it makes your chances of success increase because you're good at something. Now, the number one was do what you love. Right. I love basketball, but there's no way, even in my heyday, I was going to be able to get paid to play basketball because I'm 5'10", right? And I got pretty decent skills, but I don't have NBA skills. So you got to be realistic, all right? So number one is do what you love. Number two, do what you're good at. Yeah, I'm good at basketball, but is anybody going to pay me for that? Okay? So why is it important? It makes your chances of success increase because you're good at something. So when you try to do something that you're not good at, you may get frustrated or you may not have that skill or talent. So here's a real life example, right? When I was in college, my first major was computer science, right? Now, in high school, I took, basic computer science courses. But when I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my guidance counselor in high school was like, yeah, computers are the new thing, blah, blah, blah. You need to get this skill. So I'm in these classes, right? And this is back in the day. I'm taking Fortran, COBOL, C, Pascal, all these different languages. And everybody else in the course, it was a simple project like write your name. And I'm talking way back. This is in like the late 80s. We had punch cards. So computers, there's nothing about what you see today is what happened back then. So you had to make the computer write your name. You had to write a sentence. My name is Jay Jones. And I'm telling you, it took me literally the whole class to get that done. When other people were sitting there, other ethnicities and other groups, they had the thing done in 10 and 15 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep pushing forward because I know computer science is where it's at. So I went literally 2 years in that major. And I knew that if I graduated with that major, nobody was going to hire me because I was barely getting by on the skin of my teeth. So I wasn't good at that. I had to understand that that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the proficiency to be a computer programmer. That just wasn't what I had. And I had to realize that. So do what you're good at. And once again, it makes your chances of success increase because you're good at something that may come natural to you. It also cuts down your frustration because you aren't doing something that you can't do. And so I literally wasted 2 years in computer sciences, then switched over to finance in the business school. So I had a lot of catching up to do because a lot of my prerequisites didn't transfer over when I went over to take business. So do what you're good at. What are you naturally good at? What do you love? What do you naturally have a propensity that you're good at? And a lot of times people will tell you what you're good at. So you can ask some of your friends, family members, hey man, what am I good at? So for example, I love entrepreneurship, right? And what am I good at? I'm good at putting things together, putting businesses together, coming up with ideas and taking it from idea to fruition. So all through my life, even when I was in high school, I always had side hustles, businesses. People would always come up to me, yo, Jay, I'm thinking about this business. How can I do this? Blah, blah, blah. So I know I'm good at that. I'm good at putting things together in terms of entrepreneurship, building businesses. And what we're talking about today, guys, is the simple secret to entrepreneur success. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. Now, do something that people will pay you for. Okay, that's the third key. Why is that important? Because number one, you need to get paid to make a living. And this is, once again, when you combine all three of these things, if you can intersect all three of these, this is when you're going to be living in your genius. So, for example, I just talked about playing basketball. Nobody was going to pay me to play basketball, right? So do something that people will pay you for. So I got to X out basketball. Do what you love. I love basketball, right? Do what you're good at. In my heyday, I was good at it. Do something that people will pay you for. Nobody's going to pay me for that. So that means I got to cross that off the list. You have to have all three of these boxes checked for you to be able to make money. So for example, if you love accounting, right? You go to school, become an accountant or a CPA. You love it, okay? You're good at it, obviously. You passed your CPA exam. Will people pay you for that service? Most definitely. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do something that people will pay you for. So once again, guys, the benefits of being able to live in that space is that now you're working from authenticity or a place of authenticity. You see, one of the bad things about entrepreneurship is a lot of times we'll chase the paper. We're doing things just for the money as opposed to going out there and doing what God put in us. And I think if anybody had their druthers, they would be living in their genius. They would be doing what God designed them to do. The problem that you're sitting here, you may be listening to this while you're at a job that you can't stand. And the reason you're there is because you don't know how to monetize that genius that everybody has in them. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that aren't entrepreneurs by nature, but think about it. If you're going to work and you're going to put the effort in, then why not bet on yourself and put it in for yourself? Now, I understand there are outside circumstances. You may have a family, children, bills, obligations that don't allow you to do that right away. But you need to have multiple streams of income. So even if you're listening to this and have a job, you need to make sure that you have additional streams of income. If the pandemic didn't teach you anything, it should have taught you that you never can depend on somebody else to pay you. All right. You may have a great job that there's very little turnover. It may be a government job. You may be a teacher or educator or something like that. And that's a blessing. But you always need additional streams of income. OK, even if it's a part-time income. But if you're willing to invest in yourself and take the chance of being an entrepreneur, doing what you love, doing what you're good at, and doing something people will pay you for, I guarantee you, your life will change in a way that you can't even imagine it. When you wake up every day and you feel that, man, I'm excited to do what I do. And like I said, this is dropping on Independence Day, right? Now, I know it wasn't our independence, but just the practice of Independence Day or being independent. And that's what entrepreneurship is. That's what successful entrepreneurship is. And remember, guys, it is a process. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. OK, but the true failure only comes when you quit. So you're going to have these setbacks. But in order to get good or great at something, that's the part of the process. You have to understand this is part of the process. This is something that is totally opposite of everything we've been taught. We've been taught not to fail. You go to school, you got to get good grades. You can't fail, right? But if you start looking at things like riding a bike, right? When you learn how to ride a bike, you fell off the bike 100 times before you got it right. That was expected. But when it comes to making a living, the norm, quote unquote, air quotes up here, the norm says go to school, get a good job, and work for somebody else. OK, and all you're doing there basically is making their dreams come true. I talked about all of these designer brands, Balenciaga, Gucci, Versace, all of that. All we're doing is making their dreams and their family's dreams come true by buying their products, which that's a whole nother story. I ain't even going to get on that because there are a ton of great black designers out there. But we're making their dreams come true. When is it time that it's time to make your dreams come true? When is it time to make your dreams come true? You know, the only thing that I can offer you guys is a game plan. I can show you, give you actionable steps, and I can give you inspiration. I can't motivate anybody. Motivation comes from within. Inspiration is external. So people use the term motivational speaker. That's really doesn't even exist. So, because I can't motivate you to get up in the morning. I can't motivate you to stay up late at night after you do a 9 to 5 and work on your business. I can't motivate you to go and stand out at the flea market testing out a new product that you have. But hopefully I can inspire you. through the words and the actions and the whole BEB ecosystem with the online courses, programs, and resources. Because when you start living in your genius, guys, it's something that you, like I said, I can't even explain it. I've actually got some videos, and I've never put them out yet, of talking to people who've lived in their genius or who are living in their genius. And I'm telling you, it's a different look on their face. It's a smile in their, on their face. Their eyes are lit up because they're doing what they were designed to do. A lot of times our success never comes because we're fighting against what we're supposed to be doing. God, or whoever your God force is, Yahweh, Buddha, Allah, whoever your God force is, put something in you. Something that is innate to you, something that you're supposed to be doing. But you're fighting, you're going against the grain because you're going with what most people do. You're going to get a job. And that's cool. Not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur. So please don't take it the wrong way. If you're like, the hell with that, I'm going to get this 9 to 5, get this paper. But nothing is guaranteed. 9 to 5s aren't guaranteed either. So if you can set yourself up in a situation where you're living in your genius, you're doing something that's authentic to you, what God had put in you, and now you are using that to make a living and build wealth for yourself in generations to come, what gets better than that? What gets better than, man, nothing. And I don't want to call it failure, because it's not failure if you're not actually living out or living in your genius. But I'm going to tell you, you're not using your true gifts for yourself. I can't remember who said it, but when you use your gifts and do what God designed you to do, the doors will open up. Things will manifest because you're working from a place of authenticity. You're working from a place from within. So just think about some of these professions that have a very low chance of success, right? So if you're talking about actors, entertainers, writers, things of that nature. But when you get to a certain point, it's just an amazing feeling. I was listening to an interview with Courtney Kemp the other day, and she was talking about power and all the different power spinoffs. And she was talking about how she got fired before from, I forgot what show it was, and how she had to pay her dues to get to the point where she is now, where she can call the shots. So she has a deal now at Netflix, multi-million-dollar deal at Netflix. But all she wanted to do was write and tell stories. The path to where she is now was a long, hard path that had steps involved. And those steps are the things that separate the people that are living in their genius versus those that are not living in their genius. And the question is, are you going to dare to be great? Are you going to dare to be great, or are you going to live a basic life? I always tell my girls every day, live a remarkable life. Now, remarkable is subjective, but live a remarkable life. Don't live a common life. Try things that you want to try. Follow your dreams, your ambitions, your passions. But if you do it in a systematic format, do what you love, do what you're good at, do something people will pay you for, guess what? That simplifies the process. It gives you a framework to work off of. You're not just out there, BSing around. There's a framework to it. And once you understand that framework and you start digging deep into yourself and analyzing yourself, what do you like? Do what you like. What do you really like? And I know some of you are probably saying, well, I like things that I probably can't make money off of. You can make money off of anything. So if you like something, you can teach somebody something about that, if there's a market for that. Do what you like. Well, I like to sew. Great. Do what you're good at. Oh, I'm great at sewing. I can sew all kinds of stuff. Do something that people will pay you for. Well, you can sew different products or services that you create. You can sew for other people, custom sewing. It's all kind of stuff. Pillows, whatever, clothes, scarves, bags, blankets, whatever you want. So there's nothing that you love that you can't make money from. Once again, the problem is being able to put all of that together. So check out BEBgenius.com. That's going to take you to BlackEntrepreneurBlueprint.com's website and Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius, the program. Because I'm telling you guys, that is the highest form of entrepreneurship, is that of living in your genius. It's the highest form. You can chase paper. You can chase all kinds of stuff, right? And I'm going to tell you, once you get to a certain level in paper, your mind starts to change. All right, I've taken care of all my basic necessities, my food, shelter, clothing, all of that good stuff. Now your mindset changes. All right, I'm making paper, but does it really matter? Am I fulfilled? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I promise you, once you make it to that point, guys, your mindset is going to change and you're going to start looking at purpose more than paper. But if you want to get a fast start on this, start out with the purpose in mind. Pinpoint and monetize your genius, and your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent. Put in other words, do what you love. Number one. Number two, do what you're good at. Number three, do something that people will pay you for. It's simple. The concept is simple. The hard part is the manifestation of the money. All right. Monetization is the hard part. But that's what you have to figure out. I always talk about there's only three things that entrepreneurs do, right? Think, create, and execute. Thinking is easy, right? So you want to start, you want to think about this. What's your genius? What do you love to do? What are you good at? And will people pay you for it? That's the simple part. The creation part is now you have to create the product and or service. You have to create the system to sell your product and or service, and you have to create the fulfillment. How are you going to fulfill that product or service that you sell? The execution is putting it all together. Think, create, and execute are the only three things that an entrepreneur does. And I think a lot of times, guys, the thinking is, even though it's the easiest thing to do, we're not really sitting down taking the time to think. So while you're listening or after you listen to this episode, I want you to think about things and write this down. Write down, do what you love, right? Write down the things that you love. Okay? Things that you love. Number two, write down the things that you're good at, right? What are you good at? And they don't have to necessarily coincide. So for example, I love playing ball. You know, I'm older now. I ain't as good as I used to be, obviously. And number three, do something people will pay you for. They ain't paying me to play ball no more. All right. Do what you love. Write that down. Everything that you love, write it down. Do what you love. Do what you're good at. So what you love and what you're good at may not coincide. And number three, write down what people will pay you for. Remember, there are only 6 things you can sell, guys. Only 6 type of things you can sell. Your physical products, your digital products, and your services. Somebody else's physical products, somebody else's digital products, somebody else's services. So when you go through this exercise, do what you love, right? Write down what you love. Next column, write down what you're good at. All right. In the next column, write down what somebody will pay you for. And once again, out of those things, there's your physical products, your digital products, your services. Somebody else's physical products, somebody else's digital products, and somebody else's services. So that's what we're talking about today, guys. We're talking about a simple formula or a simple secret to entrepreneur success. Do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. In honor of Independence Day, be independent. Try to get independent. Try to become self-sufficient, where you're not worrying about if you're going to keep your job, where you have multiple streams of income. So if one thing goes bad, you got it. You're going to be independent. I also did an episode called Indestructible Income. Income that nobody can touch. Nobody even knows you have. You need to create a situation, guys, where you surround yourself with streams of income, which then actually turns into or transforms into entrepreneur success. And you can do this by being a full-time entrepreneur or a part-time entrepreneur. But the simple secret, guys, is do what you love, do what you're good at, and do what people will pay you for. Before we close on out, guys, let me share my social media contact information and resource links, and then I'm just going to close out with a short story. I mentioned at the top of the show, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. You can go to anewblackwallstreet.com, pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 print version, $9.95 digital. All of this I'm telling you guys is on the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. I mentioned besmartbyblack.com and hireblackfreelancers.com. We are revamping the sites, but if you want to sign up to be notified, if you want to join the sites, just go to either one of those websites, besmartbyblack.com or hireblackfreelancers.com. There'll be an email there, and when we go live again, it'll notify you via email. Also, I mentioned bebacademy.com. Go there, 3 days free access to all the resources in the academy to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Also, I mentioned Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. That's kind of what today's show is about. Your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent, and I teach you how to monetize it in this online program. So go to bebgenius.com, BEB like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, genius.com, and you can learn more about the program. Pound for pound, I'm telling you, it's one of the best programs in the market. If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you want to stop chasing paper and start chasing purpose and being able to monetize it, go to bebgenius.com. Now, if you want to reach out to me via social media or whatever, anything long, hit me on my email, guys. jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jjones001. Instagram, I have 2 IG accounts. The first one is J Jones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, Clubhouse @I am J Jones. LinkedIn, J Jones Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. And YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, family. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the show. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and hit that subscribe button. So just recapping and in closing, guys, do what you love, do what you're good at, and do something people will pay you for, and you'll never work a day in your life. Try to really sit down. I gave you a formula. Write down on one piece of paper. Literally takes you 10 minutes to do it. And then this may spark some ideas for you how to get to that genius space where you're living in your genius. And once again, guys, thinking, that's the key to entrepreneurship. You got to be able to sit down, take the time to think. Many times we're so busy doing stuff that isn't even really going to give us a return. We're doing busy work when really, once again, guys, think, create, and execute are the only 3 things that entrepreneurs do. And you got to be able to take the time and think every day. So just to give you a little tip, each morning, some people meditate or whatever. Each morning, I usually take about 25 to 30 minutes, and all I do is think. I can do it in the bed. I'm awake probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times I'll just sit there and think in the bed. I may write things down. I may go downstairs into my family room, and I may go and start thinking there, just relaxing and being able to put things together. So make sure you really take the time to think as an entrepreneur, because it's something that I think that we really aren't focusing on, because we want to be so active. We want to be out there doing busy work or doing something that we think is moving the needle, but in real life, it's not moving the needle. Think, create, and execute. Now, as we're about to close out, guys, I say this each and every week. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the new blackentrepreneurblueprint.com website. Guys, we spent a long time and a lot of money on the website, and we want the website to be the resource for Black entrepreneurs. Go to the website, check it out, hit the Learn tab. There's a drop down. You can learn about anything you want to learn about: e-commerce, scaling your business, mindset and strategy. There's all types of resources on the website. Make sure you check it out. Also, the ecosystem. with all the online courses and the resources that we have to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ. And once again, guys, the reason that we do this, it's really, guys, to build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community. And we couldn't do it without you guys, the BEB family. So please continue to spread the word about BEB, the podcast, the website, the ecosystem, and everything. Because once again, it ain't about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.